Aum Gangadipataye Namaha. Namaste. So, in our presentation so far of Guru-vachaka-kovai, we have presented some introductory material to provide a context for the interpretation of its sayings. And of course, the context is the famous chart. Here it is, of the 4 levels of the Vedic teaching. According to who? Well, Ramana, yes, but originally Shankarācārya. Shankarācārya created this division, this classification. And the verse, which I'm going to quote later on, confirms that Ramana is working within this system. Okay, so the Vedic teaching is divided into Dvaita, Vishishtadvaita, Vivarta, and Ajata. And these are 4 world views that enable us to make sense of everything. We would call them an ontology or a mindset, because it's the filter, the structure, the assumptions through which we view the whole world. But how do we know this is real? Well, you have to confirm it in your own experience. I lived these divisions. I took birth in a Dvaita environment, an ordinary religious family. And then I got into the Vishishtadvaita, actually. Well, we call it by a different name, Bheda-vāda, Bheda-vāda tattva. But it's exactly the same as Vishishtadvaita. No significant difference, only in the details. So our practice was bhakti. And I did bhakti for over 30 years. And I got to the stage where I realized that God is inside me. Somehow, through my practice, not through books and stuff like that. That only took me so far. I had to invent my own. And I think every real sincere seeker does. Create their own relationship with God. Because after all, it's all internal. So why not have it be anything you want? Have it be something you really, really like and could enjoy for eternity. So then that leads to the next stage, which is vivartha-vāda. And vivartha-vāda is Raja Yoga, the Buddha's teaching, all the way. Take it all the way out to emptiness, nothingness, perception or non-perception, neither nor. What happens? Boom, Brahman shows up. Spontaneously, kabam, you're enlightened. And you're in the Ajata stage, the inexplicable stage of the 4th state of consciousness. So, all right. Why is this important? Because so many people are saying this and that and the other thing about Ramana, taking his statements out of context and publishing them as one-liners on Facebook and like that. And then it's up to us to interpret them and determine what is the actual meaning. And short of looking up each one in its own context, and there's a lot of trouble, we can have a general guide to the classification and which teaching Ramana considers to be his teaching and which are others which merely lead to his teaching. And here's the verse. Here's the punchline. By what he lovingly said, Nam ulaham kandalal, because we see the world. The opening words of the first verse of Ulladu Narpadu. Rāmanāchārya, who teaches what is most beneficial for living beings, revealed only the protective vivarta siddhanta, the doctrine of illusory appearance to be true, thereby setting aside all other doctrines. Boom. So, now this was not written exactly by Ramana. It was written by Muruganar. But, of course, the procedure was he had to show it to Ramana, and Ramana approved it, if necessary, making revisions or whatever it took to be right. So, this is as good as spoken by Ramana because it was approved by him, and we know from historical records that it's reliable. And this is before any of the later, discussions arose in the Sangha about which teaching is appropriate. Now, what this has led to today is an environment where anybody can claim almost anything about Ramana's teaching and substantiate it by something he said somewhere, taken out of context. We've gotten to that stage where it's like legalistic, Yeah, I found it on page 324. It says right here. And, why? Because Ramana never denied any other teaching or any other path. He had only praise for bhakti. He had only encouragement for karma yoga. See, he only taught people to sit and meditate after they had gone through all that other stuff. Because you're not fit for actual meditation until you do get through it. Silence can only come after you have reduced the mind down to one sound. That sound could be Om, Ram, or whatever you like. But the point is, the mind has to be quieted, and then in that silence, the real self can be sought, or will reveal itself, actually. So, Brahmana himself was certainly on the highest platform, Ajata. From his point of view, the world, the ego, the mind, God, and everybody is unborn. Ajata, this is what Ajata means. It never was. So, from his point of view, only the self is real. Everything else is actually non-existent. But there's a problem. If you try to teach on that level, it's incomprehensible to anyone who hasn't experienced it, which is almost everybody. So you have to come down a notch, and that's what Ramana did. He came down to vivarta, and he says here, though his experience of the truth can only be adequately expressed by Ajata-vāda, Bhagavan Śrī Rāmana uses only the doctrine of Vivarta for his teaching. Why? Because, as it says in the chart, let's go back to the chart again. This vivartha-vāda is for the mature sadhus. Tivra means ripe, like a ripe fruit, ready to be plucked, or actually ready to simply spontaneously drop effortlessly from the tree. So the mature souls can get it. Well, what about the other ones? What about the ones who are still stuck in Vishishtadvaita and Dvaita, Forget the Pashus. They can't understand anything. But at least the Dvaita and Vishishtadvaitas have some connection with God. Where does this fit? Well, of course, it fits within. It is the, the content of, the context created by Ajata, and Vivarta. See? And then so Vishishtadvaita fits within vivarta-vāda, and Dvaita fits within Vishishtadvaita. You see? Like those Russian dolls. What are they called? Matryoshka? Those Russian dolls that fit one inside the other? Or those Japanese boxes that you open and inside each box is a smaller box and so on, and they get really, really tiny. That's what we're dealing with here. Ajata includes everything, because it is everything. That's inexplicable. Okay? But we're not asking you to take it on faith. Try the vivarta-vāda. Meditate. Cleanse your mind. Empty your mind. See how much better you feel. See how much better your day goes. Experience it for yourself. This is the Buddha's pitch. Now, if you're not ready for that, if you still need somebody to tell you what to think or what to do or whatever like that, there's always the mixed Advaita, Vishishtadvaita. And that manifests as different forms of bhakti. Well, that's all right, because the bhakta ultimately finds that God is within, therefore God is in me, therefore God is part of me, therefore I am something even greater than God. Yes, pure awareness, Brahman. From Brahman, everything has come. But without Brahman becoming modified, or changed, or transformed in any way, it's inconceivable, isn't it? No. Shankaracharya gave us the vivarta-vāda, the theory of projection, isn't it? The mind is a projection overlaid on the substrate of pure awareness, Brahman. The substrate means like the foundation, like the bedrock. And then above that there's a layer of soil. And then there's the vegetation that grows out of it. Well, according to what you plant, you get different results. So we say, don't even plant anything. Uproot all those plants. Uproot the mind. Quiet the mind. Stop the thoughts. Then what do you got? Well, what are you? Then only consciousness. But there's one more step beyond that, which is pure being, which is capable of consciousness, but without an object, it's only awareness. At best, it's awareness of awareness. Again, this is inexplicable, paradoxical. It can't be explained. It can't be understood intellectually. It can be experienced by practice. So that's why I'm posting so many videos of the practice. Practice is just sit there. Have you ever heard somebody say, don't just sit there, do something? You're chilling out. Well, we say the opposite. Don't just do something, sit there. Damn it. Sit there until you get it. I can't do that for you no matter how much I run my mouth, okay? No matter how many books you read, no matter how many videos you watch, nothing's going to happen until you sit down and go for it. So that's what separates the men from the boys. That's what separates those who are sincere from those who are just playing around. I got more slides with all kinds of quotes and this and us to back it up. I'll post them somewhere on Facebook or somewhere on my page, and I'll provide a link to it. A photo set of all the relevant quotes establishing that Ramana Maharshi taught vivarta-vāda. And these quotes just happen to be from the book that we're looking at right now. And then that will complete the introduction to Sri Guru-vachaka-kovai. Om Tat Sat. Om Harihi Om.